Good afternoon, Israel briefers from all around the world. Thank you for joining me, Rolene Marks, right here on the Israel Brief, where you get your news unfiltered, no bull, beep, and with the occasional rant from yours truly. As always, we come to you every Monday to Thursday in connection with these guys, lay of the land. And a reminder, if you would like to receive our weekly newsletter, please contact us through our website. It is day 698. We are just 2 days away from the 700 days since the 7th of October mark. And as we remind people every single day, there are still 48 hostages being held captive by Hamas. Hamas are recognized internationally as a terrorist organization. And we cannot even begin to imagine what their families are going through. We can't even begin to imagine what the remaining living hostages are going through. What we do know is we want them all home now. Every single one without exception. Israel laid to rest 2 hostages whose remains were recovered over the weekend, Ilan Weiss and Idan Shtivi. We want to give all the hostages who are no longer with us a dignified burial, and the remaining living hostages to come home for their very, very lengthy rehabilitation process. Now, yesterday I said to you guys that the world has been silent about Israel's children. And I said that we're not going to stop speaking about them. We're going to be the voice of Israeli children to the world. And there was a story that really just shattered me when I was scrolling through Instagram yesterday. You know, on Sunday, all the schools reopened. No, it wasn't Sunday, it was Monday. All the schools reopened, all the kids went back to school. And there was a post from the mother of Elkanah Bobot. Elkanah is one of our living hostages who has a little boy who started gun, or creche as it's known in your country's kindergarten. And she said that she took him a little later than when the other kids arrived, because she didn't want him to see all the other children arriving with their daddies holding them. I mean, if that doesn't just devastate you. You know, these are the stories of our children. As I said, the world has forgotten the orphans, the survivors, the kids who have a father who might still be held in captivity, kids who've lost their fathers, who have fallen in defense of the state of Israel, or whose fathers are currently on reserve or sadir or permanent force duty. Our children exist too. And while the Israel Brief exists, we will give them a voice. So let's take a look at those headlines, and we begin with quite a controversial one. The United Arab Emirates, who are our Abrahamic brothers and sisters, have warned Israel that any annexation of the West Bank or Judea and Samaria is crossing a red line, and that would seriously end the vision of regional integration that they have. Now, the UAE haven't been very vocal during this war. They have cooperated with Israel on a number of humanitarian-related issues, including taking some of the children who need medical assistance from the Gaza Strip to hospitals in the UAE for treatment, and also participating in airdrops. Now, this follows the news that the Prime Minister is perhaps mulling Israel annexing parts of the disputed territories of the West Bank or Judea and Samaria, whatever you want to call it, in response to countries around the world saying they are going to recognize a Palestinian state. Now, Financial Minister Bezalel Smotrich, who is a very polarizing figure here in Israel, presented his plan of annexing about 82% of the disputed territory, and said that if the Palestinian Authority try to harm us in any way, we will destroy them. Now, of course, it is very, very controversial. This is by international law disputed territory. Some countries call it occupied territory, but if you read international law, it clearly states that it is disputed territory. Let's now go to the Gaza Strip, where the IDF have confirmed that they have eliminated the head of the terrorist organization, the Al-Mujahideen, who were responsible for the kidnapping and holding of Shiri Bibas and her two beautiful little flamehead boys, Kfir and Ariel. We can't bring our beautiful Shiri and those two gorgeous little boys back, but we can get justice for them, and we just did. The IDF also confirmed eliminating the terrorists from Hamas responsible for holding captive Emily Damari, Naama Levi, and Romi Gonen. And we settle our outstanding accounts with terrorists. Meanwhile, the IDF also released a recording earlier today where Gazan civilians trying to evacuate or flee Gaza City ahead of the upcoming IDF offensive have said that Hamas are blocking the way. They are also shooting at them. They are telling them not to go south, saying that there are no evacuation orders. It is absolutely imperative that we get as many civilians out of the combat zone as possible. We want to save as many lives as possible and mitigate as many civilian casualties. They say that they're trying all the side roads, are scared that Hamas have positioned themselves along the main roads. You can actually hear this voice recording. It's up on the Kogat site on X. So if you type in COGAT, it will take you to Kogat and you can see that for yourself. It is an absolute imperative we get civilians out of harm's way. Meanwhile, the IDF say that they estimate about 70,000 civilians have already evacuated Gaza City for Al-Mawasi ahead of the offensive. The Israeli Law Center, Shurat Hadin, this is a story I think you'll all love, I know I love it, have filed complaints with authorities in the United Kingdom, in Sweden, and with maritime authorities, filing suit against Greta Thunberg and her cohorts who sailed to Israel aboard that selfie boat, or they call it a flotilla, we call it a selfie boat, and they were caught on camera dumping their laptops, their cell phones, etc., their devices into our waters, which is a violation of the International MARPOL Treaty or Convention on Pollution. The Shurat Hadin have filed saying they want legal action taken against Thunberg and her cohorts for polluting our waters and for supporting Hamas. So yeah, Greta, we also can play your games and you might be facing a massive lawsuit. And finally, some good news, and the island nation of Fiji have announced that they will be opening their embassy in the capital, Jerusalem, in 2 weeks' time. On the 17th of September, the Foreign Minister of Fiji, he will join our Foreign Minister and other dignitaries in the Har Hatzvim neighborhood of Jerusalem to welcome and open their embassy, and we can't wait to welcome you to the capital. So guys, those are your top stories, but let's take a look at the audience question. It comes from Ashley in Jerusalem, who says, Ro, did you see Chris Martin at the Coldplay concert? Any thoughts? Okay, so this is doing the rounds, and it's actually on the New York Post. This is Coldplay lead singer Chris Martin calling on to stage two young women. They happen to be from Israel, and when he asked them where they're from, they said Israel, and he basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, he basically said, you know, we're going to treat you as equals, as humans, regardless of where you come from. When they said Israel, they were booed by the audience, and then he said, and can we hear it for all the Palestinians in the audience? Now, in his mind, he probably thought he was being conciliatory and welcoming and love and peace and kumbaya and all that stuff. But in reality, he was actually extremely patronizing. Not only was he patronizing by kind of saying, good little Israeli girls, pet, 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 I'm going to treat you as humans because others might not, but I will treat you as a human. It was extremely condescending, and it did two things. First of all, it quantified our existence as Israelis, as Jews, alongside those of the Palestinians. And we don't need to be told we are human. We are human. Thank you very much, Chris. And our existence is not qualified or quantified by the existence of Palestinians, of their identity. We have our own identity. And also it did something very, very dangerous. It dehumanized Israelis by telling us that you are suddenly going to regard us as humans. You have dehumanized us. You have treated us just how Hamas, the Nazis, the Cossacks, and those through our history, through time immemorial, have treated us by dehumanizing us. So stop. Just stop. We don't need your permission to exist. We do exist. And here's a thought. We were in existence long before you were. So that's it from me for today, guys. Don't forget to follow our website at www.layoftheland.online. We're on Instagram at Rolene_Marks. We are right here on YouTube at the Israel Brief. If you like our content, please hit that subscribe button. We are just a few clicks away from jumping over that 2,000 subscriber mark. In fact, we would love it if you helped us to get there. We are on Substack at Rolene Marks, LinkedIn at Rolene Marks. Am I leaving something out? Facebook at Lottel Side, X at Lay of the Land 5. And guys, God bless you all. I will see you tomorrow with your mentions, your morons, and your questions. And don't forget your headlines. Bye for now.